Ah, the cinema. Back when there was no need for social distance. Daddy's Home 2 was released in 2017 and was once again directed by Sean Anders. Dusty and Brad have big plans for Christmas, however, things don't quite go as well as their dads come to visit them. This review was once again requested by Spiritual Orchin. I do apologise if I pronounced your name wrong. So, Daddy's Home 2, I really wasn't expecting it to be that good. I have to be brutally honest. I thought it was going to be crap. I genuinely thought, okay, everyone else was telling me that like it was really bad. Some were saying it was good, but I was just, because the first one was just a stupid movie to me. It was corny, it was cheesy, it was dumb. I really wasn't expecting all that much from the sequel. In fact, I thought it was even going to be worse than the first one. And sometimes, when you do have a very negative mindset going into a movie, the movie can end up being pretty decent, sometimes even amazing. That's not to say Daddy's Home 2, in my opinion, is an amazing movie, but after watching it for the first time last night, I'm genuinely surprised. It's nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be. I think this film is pretty decent. I think it is a good, entertaining movie. A lot better than the first one. I still think the story still has a little bit of that cheese from the original, with the stuff with the granddads, stuff with Dusty and Brad's fathers. I think that stuff is just, it's a bit, I just found it so dumb. Like, it's not really rivalry, but I honestly have to admit, the storyline was a bit, I got a little lost, and I thought the story the direction was a bit, well, it was a bit all over the place, and it didn't really know what it was doing. But I think, like, this is a story that may be dumb, but I think here it's more entertaining, I feel. I think it's just, the humour is better, it's more wittier, it's more funnier, and I just think the story overall is just better written. It's just a better made movie to me. I just think I got more enjoyment out of this movie than I did with the first one. I feel like this is kind of what the first one wanted me to feel. It wanted me to enjoy it for being like corny, and while this movie is nowhere near as corny as the original, I just feel I got more enjoyment. It has a bit more, it has better writing. The writing's a bit more witty and funnier. And I did think at times the story, especially towards the end, it started to lose its direction, and I actually was going like, wait, what is going on? There were a lot of that moment like, wait, what is going on? So at times I thought the story was a bit confusing, I did get a bit lost, and I did lose track. But it's not that bad of a story, I just think it's very entertaining. It's an enjoyable story. I got more enjoyment out of this one than I did with the first one, like I said. That's basically my main positive with this film. It's a massive improvement over the first one. It still has that same corniness, but it's nowhere near as dumb as I thought it would be. The acting, once again, is pretty damn decent. It's not that bad, and it is genuinely actually an improvement over the first one. I think the acting, it's just better. Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell are once again very good in this, like they were in the first one. So yeah, it's a very well acted movie. I think everyone does their roles pretty damn well, actually. Even the characters actually aren't that bad either. I will say, just as for my thoughts on the two dads, I thought they were fine. They're not really that interesting to me, but they're not like the worst characters I've ever seen. The other characters, even such as Dusty and Brad and the family, I just thought everyone was a bit more memorable. I was more interested in them than I was with the original. I just felt I cared about them a little more. I thought they were just better written, and maybe a little more likable. I think I just found them to be better characters here. It's a bit strange. Like, I just found them a bit more interesting, a bit more enjoyable, like a bit more fun. It's a kind of a fun movie actually. It's actually quite fun, and the music is all right. I did find that song towards the end to be pretty cheesy, just the way it was sung, but it's not terrible. So the music is okay. Daddy's Home 2 is nowhere near as bad as I thought, and while it still has that same kind of corniness, it's not that bad of a movie. Overall, Daddy's Home 2 is a massive improvement over the first movie to me. While still having the cheesiness of the original, it's still a lot more entertaining and just more enjoyable in my opinion. I'm going to give Daddy's Home 2 a 7 out of 10. So thank you, Spiritual Orchin, for your request on the Daddy's Home duology. I have to say, I may not have liked the first one, but I enjoyed the second one a lot. I have to say, I would like to see a third one. I wouldn't mind it if they continued, make it a trilogy. I wouldn't mind a third movie. I'd see it. I think a third movie, maybe it could even be the best in the trilogy. But yeah, then again, we just have to wait and see. I think there's something about a third movie in the works. I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but as far as I'm concerned, I think the second one is pretty good. Not great, but I would actually watch it again. I wouldn't mind watching it over Christmas time. So stay tuned for my next review. We got a few stuff coming up, and until then, guys, skadoosh everyone and take care.